This episode is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com, the #1 seller of games and gaming accessories. And GatheringMagic.com, the #1 resource for Magic the Gathering news and articles.
Hello everybody, I'm Mike from the Mana Pool.
Beardy Man!
And this is my Dakkon Blackblade Commander deck. Alright, so Dakkon Blackblade. I think he's pretty cool. You can't read this one, but his power and toughness are equal to the number of lands you control. That's a pretty weird ability for Esper colored, so I thought he'd be a pretty interesting commander for a kind of controlling deck, because late in the game I have access to like a 8/8, 9/9, whatever he is, and that's pretty useful, you know? Alright, the land base. Get the lands out of the way. Got some blue-white lands. Got like a million of these dang things. And this, and that, and this. Some of these. One of those. And the blue-black lands are pretty much mirrored in what I have going on there. Just, you know, need lands. Important part of any EDH deck, commander deck, important part of any deck. This Caves of Koilos.
That's mine.
Yeah, that's actually Chew's. When I was sorting these things out, I stopped and read Nimbus Maze that was in the deck, and then I realized there's only one island in the deck, so that means Nimbus Maze is an island at best, and sometimes it does nothing. So I'm going to replace it with one of my Caves of Koilos when I get back to the apartment. Chew was able to help me out for the purposes of this video. Isolated Chapel, awesome. I really love these new things. And one of these, and multi-land, and Ancient Spring. This is pretty cool, especially if you need a really quick jump. Sacrifice it for 2 mana. I thought that was pretty cool. And Rupture Spire is pretty standard. And a Tech Edge, because sometimes you just need to get rid of hateful lands. Likewise with Strip Mine, and Wasteland, and Dust Bowl. Gotta be careful not to use this too many times, otherwise I kind of make my commander pointless. But, Thawing Glaciers to get all these wonderful basic lands that are in the deck. Got some plains, got some swamps, and one island. All right. There's, a controlling deck likes to have mana. There's some big stuff in here, so I have a fair number of mana artifacts. Worn Powerstone is just awesome. I love Worn Powerstone. It's great. Mana Vault, always a classic. Grim Monolith. Also up there. Basalt Monolith is really cool. There's been so many weird changes to what this card's text says, but they finally moved it back to what it actually says. And it just works a lot better right now. There used to be a restriction that you couldn't use mana from cards named Basalt Monolith to untap it, to prevent you from doing I don't know what. More mana. Got a little Portuguese crypt. Lotus Petal, sometimes you just need one more mana really fast. Alright, controlling decks love to draw cards and tutor for cards. Personal Tutor can get a lot of the mass destruction effects that can be found in the deck. Always useful. Likewise for Mystical Tutor, you can find those and also some of the point removal things I have. Enlightened Tutor can get anything a person could ever want in any deck ever. Well, one that has white in it, at least. I think you all know that. Mystical Teachings, always good for getting instance. It can also get the copy of Widwind. How do you say that? Widwin, the Biting Gale, that's right. That's in the deck, because she has Flash, and that's cool. Demonic Tutor, any commander deck playing black is going to play one of these, exactly one of these, not two. That's against the rules. Vampiric Tutor. Rune-Scarred Demon, I put with the tutors. He's just also awesome as a big flying guy. Alright, I only have so many creatures in here, and I end up dying a lot to mass removal, so I made sure to put some recursion in here. Death's Duet, it's good for 2 creatures at once, I like that. Urborg Uprising, 2 creatures at once, and I get to draw a card, that's pretty cool. Beacon of Unrest, just get, whatever, go nuts, do a dance. No Rest for the Wicked is interesting. I could lay it out there and just get ready, and then after a big mass removal spell, I can just raise dead all of my guys that died. That's a pretty useful effect. I really love recall. I've been playing with recall in and out of decks for a long time, and it's just really cool to be able to trade some cards in my hand that I don't really want right now for cards that are just awesome that I already happen to use. Let's see. Card draw. I need to draw cards. Control decks love drawing cards. Bloodletter Quill is something really good in these colors. I was glad to find it. Treasure Trove. Put that out there whenever I have some spare mana lying around. Get another card. Thieving Magpie is just a wonderful creature. Has been for a long time. Sterngeist is like a brand new Thieving Magpie and a lot bigger. This is a very recent addition to the deck. I'm glad I was able to open one. Some random other stuff. The top is in like every commander deck, except for those ones. They suck. Who cares about those? Crystal Ball, randomly useful. Lightning Greaves is also in all the commander decks that don't suck. Lockstone Warhammer is just great for gaining life. Control decks are like to gain life and stay in the game. Vorak Battlehorns I thought was, I picked out specifically because of the way it works with Dakkon. I have a giant, like I said, 8899 creature or whatever. This makes sure he has trample so he can actually hit someone, and he can only be blocked by one creature, so they can't pile up on him. So this is really cool to use with him and the other big creatures in the deck. Alright, point removal. There's a lot of stuff to hate in Commander, and Ablation gets rid of almost all of them. Swords to Plowshares because it's awesome. Path to Exile because it is also very cool. Oblivion Ring because, duh, I'm playing white and whatever. Face Fetters just really screws up everything. You can stick it to any permanent and it can't use any of its abilities and just make people mad. It's wonderful. Alright, Dismantling Blow, can either get an enchantment artifact out of the way, or it can do that and draw 2 cards. So that's really great. Ray of Erasure, similarly, is worth multiple cards because I can use it twice. And that flashback cost is really, nothing in a long commander game. Whatever. And everyone forgets about the graveyard anyway, even the good players. And I'm not just talking about the players who tell everyone they're good players. I'm talking about the actual good players. Okay, what's a controlling deck that's playing white without some mass removal? Day of Judgment. Wrath of God. Dip into black for some damnation. Divine Reckoning is a very good recent add. This is also very helpful if I have one big guy out there that I want to roll on everybody with, and I'd just rather not lose him right now. Also Flashback. Forgetting about the graveyard. Good players. Consume the Meek wipes up all those little guys and keeps my big guys, which I probably should have put the creatures maybe somewhere else except in the back. But we'll get to them. Don't worry. And they won't be killed by Consume the Meek, except for like one of them, and you'll see that one. Righteous Fury, I found this in the collection of the guy who actually taught me how to play the game, and was able to convince him to trade it to me. This is really, really useful. There's just tapped creatures all over the place in Commander, especially if the game is really going. Phyrexian Rebirth is awesome. Mass removal, one big guy. I still have yet to get the token that goes with this. I need to ask Chew about that later. Chroma's Vengeance, useful for just blowing up everything when you need to blow up everything, and if you can't play it, you can get another card instead. Let's see, I put Kagamaru in with their mass removal because that's what he is. -X to everybody. Rex is his power, and his power is the number of cards in your hand, which should be respectable. I mean, I hope my hand isn't empty when I play him, otherwise I'm kind of stupid. Steel Hellkite is also in here with the mass removal, because, that's what the card does. Likewise for Sunblast Angel, very similar to that Righteous Fury, except you just don't gain life, which I can live with that. Alright, finally the rest of the creatures. Vampire Nighthawk is the only guy that gets killed by Consume the Meek. That's okay, because he's awesome otherwise. Widwin, I mentioned Widwin earlier. Really, just zing, block, whoop, back in my hand. Ha 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 ha. And I can fetch her with Mystical Teachings. Phyrexian Processor, you have not lived until you have pay until you have dumped 30 plus life into a Phyrexian processor and started making token after token after token. It's amazing. It is great stuff. I highly recommend it. Kiyomaro, another guy who cares about hand size. Since I'm playing control, I like to hold on to some stuff, so he'll be a fair size. He can also gain me a bunch of life if I need it. Serra Angel, because she's a classic. When I was putting together this deck, I concepted it as, the big flying creatures would be a lot of angels and vampires and other cool stuff like that. So I have to have Serra Angel. I mean, she just goes in the deck, right? Skithrix is another 5-mana 4/4 flyer. He's kind of an emergency button if I really need to kill someone soon, or otherwise mess with them. I don't use Skithrix lightly. Serra Sphinx, another 5-mana 4/4 flyer. Glory is a 5-mana 3/3 flyer. A little different, but still just as good. And when she's in the graveyard, you can give you guys protection from fairies, things, and that's just crazy. Glory is just crazy all around everywhere. Playing with Serra Angel, so I gotta play with Singer Vampire. Have to, no choice. Singer Nosferatu, because he can go, Hogus Pogus, I'm a bat. And Abracadabra, I'm a vampire. It's just the most wonderful thing. He doesn't get to do it very often. I don't really have the mana up all that often, but it's nice. It's a nice thought to have. I have the other Maro that I'm missing, Sora Maro. Also does some card draw. He's really cool. Also flies. That's great. Viscerator Demon, huge flyer. Also messes with people, dumping stuff in the graveyard. Also has Unearth, which is, helpful since with all the mass removal in here. I can get them back later. Wormcoil Engine, also wonderful for a deck that likes to play a lot of mass removal. Gain some life, get some more worms, gain some more life. Thopter Assembly, because it's the big flyer, and also because it makes a bunch of other flyers. It's rare that I'll play him again if I haven't used up all my 1/1 Thopters, because just a Thopter making machine. Enigma Sphinx is easily one of my favorite cards in the deck, because he plays everything else except for a couple of creatures we've seen and a couple of creatures that come after him, and it's just crazy. He just can't die. If I have a Sensei's Divining Top, he's always coming back to my hand right now. It's wonderful. It's great. Chroma, playing a bunch of big flying angels. Gotta have a Chroma. Finally, Chromium. I've had this card since almost right after I started playing, and the deck is in his colors. He is the Elder Dragon legend that goes with these colors. He has to be in the deck, and he does make people go when I cast him, so it's all worth it. Flip it around. Alright, so thank you everybody for watching my Commander deck video. Remember to subscribe, favorite, like, tweet, dig, all those crazy things you do. Have a nice day.